Hi, everyone. Welcome to Curated by Becta's Big Night In number 14. Thanks so much for ordering this week, and thanks for letting us be a part of your very special celebration at home. We have a beautiful and very simple menu for you tonight. It's not a lot of cleanup. It's just a little bit of time in the oven, so that's the key thing. I didn't want to make the video too long, so I've gone ahead and put my duck wings on a baking sheet with parchment paper in the oven, and it's going to be for 18 minutes in total, but 12 minutes plus 2 rounds of 3 once we do the nice molasses glaze. And then I've got my smoked red thumb potatoes uh, tossed with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and put flat side down in the oven on parchment paper on a baking sheet as well. After 10 minutes in the oven at 450 degrees or 425 if you're like me and have a convection oven, then you're going to add your asparagus, which use your box instead of using a mixing bowl, and you're going to be able to toss the asparagus with olive oil and salt and pepper as well. So why don't we go ahead and get started cooking the steak? But I hope that you do an appetizer first, then take a break, and then cook your main course. We want your pan medium high. We want 1 tablespoon of neutral oil per person, in my case, grapeseed oil, but you can use canola oil or vegetable oil if you like. And have a bowl nearby because you're going to drain off the oil after a certain time. So you cut it out of the sous vide bag. The steaks are amazing. Beverly Creek grass-fed strip loin, local, beautiful. We have already done a lot of the hard work, obviously the butchery, but we've also seasoned it and we've cooked it sous vide, so it's already rare. So the steaks might look a little bit small, but trust me, they will fill you up because they've already shrunk. We've done most of the cooking for you already. You're searing it and finishing it up to medium rare, or if you'd like it more than medium rare, a little bit more in there. So yeah, just cut it out of the bag, pat it on a paper towel, and hit it with some salt and pepper. Both sides. And then that's going to go into the pan as soon as it's nice and hot. So about 90 seconds on each side. And then we're going to get rolling. While that is searing off, let me tell you about the white wine tonight. It is a beautiful, interesting, and exotic white wine from the Dow region of Portugal. Grape varieties are very difficult to pronounce, but I will let you try your own. Bical and Encruzado, grown on the heavily carotenic soils of the Dow region. Anyway, it is just gorgeous. Sort of reminds me of a cross between like an Alsatian Pinot Gris, like a Chablis, very minerally in there. And but the richness is going to go great with the duck wings and the peanut coleslaw and the duck of spice and the mint and all that stuff. So 90 seconds, you just want a nice crust on it. So I'm going to give that a little bit more time. One thing I can do while I'm waiting is we can take our slaw and divide it up into the 2 plates. And this is a really great one. Our Chef Rich, in case you didn't know, is an amazing barbecue lover. So he does a lot of the great barbecue flavors, and a peanut coleslaw from the south is no exception. And I've got some timers going on, so it's going to let me know when I'm going to take the duck wings out. Okay, so we've got about 90 seconds on that side. Crust it off. We have these confit cipollini onions, which are just lovely. They're packed in a little bit of oil, so drain it off. I drained it off just before I started the video because you don't need the oil in there. You're going to need some butter in there. So as soon as the steak is nice and crusted, we're going to drain the oil and melt some butter. So make sure to have 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. Always use unsalted butter so you can control how much salt is there per person. And so yeah, I'm going to get the rag. Turn the heat down a little bit. Drain the oil off. And now I'm going to melt the butter in there. Move the steaks around so the butter is at the bottom of the pan so we can baste it on both sides before putting in the oven for, let's see, 3 minutes. And then we're going to rest the steak for at least 5 minutes before we slice it. So that's all the juices come into the center. So very key. Um, yeah, I guess the butter's almost melted. So let's baste away. And this is a great trick for any steaks that you have at home, whether it's our meal kits or not. Um, hey, Google, off. Okay, so there is my duck wing timer. So I need to pull that out of the oven and baste it with the molasses barbecue sauce. Okay, the steak is looking really good. Okay, so duck wings. Oh man, they smell amazing. We have done these confit already, so they're beautifully tender. As usually duck wings are not so tender until you cook them in their own fat and have them all break down. All right, looking good. That guy is going to go back into the oven, and I want to make sure there's enough space for our steak, which is also going in there. And then when the steak comes out and is resting, that's when we're going to do the cipollini onions. Make sure I'm holding my rag well so I don't burn my hands. There we go. Hey Google, set a timer for 5 minutes. Okay, don't need the burner on anymore. So our potatoes have been in there 10 minutes. And then the asparagus. And actually, you know what? I made a mistake. Hey Google, take 2 minutes off the timer. It didn't like me. Hey Google, timer off. Hey Google, set a timer for 2 minutes. There we go. And that is the key, because it's 3 minutes in the oven, unless you want it more than medium rare, which I do not want. So there we go. And then I got a little bit of a break. Why don't I go ahead and plate the dessert up? So we're going to do it from the fridge. Got a bit of a steakhouse classic here. So I can see why they want it out of the fridge. So if you've got a pastry spatula, because it is going to be soft, get it in there. There we go. That is yummy. And then we've got Graham creme anglaise. And we're going to dollop our creme anglaise beside. And we've got the apple compote on top. This looks like a very simple dessert, but it is awesome. And just for fun, I'm going to take a little bit of mint from our main or our appetizer, just to garnish it up. Because having a little something green, nothing wrong with that. I'll try to get the nicest one for this. There we go. So we have our apple cheesecake with the apple compote and the Graham creme anglaise. All right. We can move that off, get the duck ready. Hey Google, volume on, cancel the timer. So we got two things going on at the same time. One is our steak, which has to rest. Make sure to get all the nice butter in there. And we're going to keep that pan because we're going to roast the cipollini onions in it. And then, hopefully you guys can see this. We're going to baste the duck legs one more time with the molasses barbecue sauce. and that's going in for about another 3 minutes. And the potatoes and asparagus should be done nicely by then. Okay, so you want to take the butter out that the steak has been cooked in, but you can leave the nice brown bits in there. And we're going to melt another 1 tablespoon of butter per person, and that is going to be going with the cipollini onions. So I'm going to get the dukkha and our mint ready here. The pieces are a little big. You can cut them off, cut them up a little bit. There we go. Don't need that anymore. Okay, I think we're ready. I'm going to saute these around. Last 2 meal kits I've done, only 1 pan to wash afterwards, which is super great. I can get rid of the warm oil. There we go. I'll keep my spoon here to do a little tossing. That smells amazing. Let's see if I need to season anything. Nope, already seasoned. Okay, so duck wings, and I'm going to let them actually just sit in the oven because they can get a little bit more crispy, but I think we're pretty close to plating of our potatoes and our asparagus. The smokiness of these guys is just great. It makes me so happy. Plate them any way that you find nice and creative. Lovely local Rideau Pines asparagus. Love these guys. We're doing the Boys and Girls Club Gala next week, and they donated enough portions for 400 people of asparagus, which is so nice. Okay, onions looking good. Okay, steak is resting. So yeah, while this is here, maybe I am going to plate my duck. And again, I hope that you're doing your appetizer and main course separately and being able to enjoy. But I actually got to get back to work tonight. One of my managers called in sick, so I'm probably drinking a little less than I normally do for this. This is a good-looking appetizer. So the molasses barbecue sauce is going to be a little sticky, which is perfect. So that you take your dukkha, which is a lovely Middle Eastern blend of spices and seeds, and it should stick to it really nicely. And then your fresh mint. There we go. So our beautiful confit duck wings with the peanut and slaw and the dukkha and the mint. I know my son's going to love this. The cipollinis look amazing. All right, so let's get them over here for the plating. We can put these aside. About 4 big ones per person here. And if you like a little bit of extra decadence, feel free to put some butter with the lovely beef fond, they call it, in there. And then just before we put the steak down, make some space for our chimichurri sauce, which is classic Argentinian steakhouse sauce. This is what they do. It brightens it up, all of these fresh herbs, so that the char of the steak gets some brightness. Mm, mm. It's got some zing. It's got some a little bit of vinegar in there as well. So with a strip loin, you don't have to slice it like a flank steak, but you do want to find where um, the lines are, and you want to go against them. And you can just slice it in half. It's nice medium rare. Lines are that way, so we're going this way. Trying to find a good way to plate it. There we go. Just play around with it. And then a little bit of salt and pepper on there to finish. And now you've got a beautiful big night in of Beverly Creek strip loin with the smoked red fingerling potatoes, confit cipollini onions, local asparagus, and our chimichurri sauce. I hope you love your meal. Thanks again for ordering. Thanks for all the support, and hope we get to cook and curate for you again really soon. Keep in mind Father's Day. We're going to actually add Sunday that week for the dads, and my guess is we're going to have some of Rich's legendary ribs. So keep us in mind for Father's Day. Have a great night and enjoy your curated meal.